So I wonder how this works. Let's see. No. Oh, yes, there's people actually watching for some odd reason. Don't know why. Got 6. Got 5. Looking at my ugly mug and my stupid basement. Ah, there we go. I don't think I'm a legend, but thanks. I am me. Let's see if we can get some more people in here. Let's see. Yes. I'm not sure what to really talk about. I guess we could talk about all sorts of wrestling stuff because I'm sure that's why most people are here. I'm sure there's people probably in the chat. If you want to ask questions, I can probably, not many people here. I'm sure I can keep up. Did watch, what did I end up watching? I did end up watching Style Battle for a little bit. That was okay. Made sense as far as the tournament went, but again, there wasn't many guys I knew. Howdy, sir. How are you doing? And watched. What else did I watch? I watched. Got caught up on MLW. I got caught up on that since they're gonna start TV, I guess. So there was that. Then WrestleMania was WrestleMania, I guess, and although I guess it really wasn't WrestleMania, I guess the best match I actually really liked I would say the ladder match was probably my favorite. I didn't like Ciampa and Gargano as much as everybody else. I thought it was really good. It just, I didn't enjoy it as much as everybody else did. Though I think you could make a really good case for Riddle and Ospreay as well. That match was pretty awesome, I thought. All things considered, I mean, it for a crowd that was mostly dead throughout the entire show, they came alive for that match. So that says, I think, a lot. So not much. After we found out it was not a Make-A-Wish kid, it was pretty stupid. Especially if that's the best thing you could come up with for Braun Strowman, given that he's probably the hottest guy in the promotion right now. So yeah. The reason why he's in Evolve is because he's probably going to wind up in WWE first. So that answers that question, I think, as far as him going to ROH. I can't see him going to ROH unless something changes and they feel like he feels like WWE is never going to hire him, which I seriously doubt. I think watching Mania, I think it was pretty evident that he was like the most over guy. So there we go. Yes, WrestleMania was way too long. Nah, I don't think that's that big of a deal. I would have said McIntyre would have a better career in WWE than Adam Cole, but Adam Cole has absolutely surprised me in NXT how much he's over. So there you go. When do you think Omega will go to WWE? When do I think? I don't know, honestly. I think it depends on. I think it depends on if Daniel Bryan stays. If he stays, I think that's going to make it a lot easier. I think that'll make him want to stay. I think it's also going to depend on if any of his buds wind up going to WWE. Other than that, unless they offer him probably a lot of money, I would say, because he seems smart enough to know that you want to offer a good amount of money to go. Ibushi. Oh yes, I think that will happen at G1. I do think that he's gonna. I think Omega will wrestle Ibushi at year one without question. I think that's gonna happen. Favorite YouTubers watch? I don't really watch much YouTube anymore, other than I watch like a lot of I use YouTube to watch video clips and movie clips and that sort of thing. So there you go. Used to watch MMA, and if so, what do you think of the current state of the UFC? I think there's too many shows. I think the fact that the pay-per-views have you have so much TV and you have so many pay-per-views that it weakens the cards. And then of course you got everything. I think they're just in a really tough spot, and the company that bought UFC probably end up paying way too much for them, which doesn't help. So they're trying to pull out every trick in the book, and I don't think it really works that way. Would you franchise? Who would be your? Let's see. What do you think? Who are your favorite YouTubers? Do you attend? Who would be my franchise player in WWE? My franchise player. I don't know at the moment. Perhaps. I mean, personally, it would probably be Daniel Bryan, but I don't know for sure. So there's that. So who knows? Other than that, I guess Roman would be a good choice. I think you'd have to completely repackage him, but I think that's kind of what would have to happen. So there you go. Have you been following much Puro besides New Japan? I have not. I have not been, other than New Japan. Dragon Gate is now in a huge state of flux. And Dragon Gate's one of those things that you follow, and you have to, not you have to follow close, but it's real easy to get burnt out on. Noah's not all that great. All Japan, I know a lot of people talk it up. I think it's better than it was. I still wouldn't call it good. I was kind of bummed that the start of the Champions Carnival sounded like it wasn't all that wonderful. So, do you think WWE moves SummerSlam to Major League Baseball stadiums going forward, like they're going with the Rumble next year? I probably, I don't know. If I'm WWE, I'd try to stick inside myself. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if SummerSlam gets moved to Saudi Arabia. If the kind of crazy numbers that's going around that they're being paid, and it's a 10-year deal. So there is that. Last time I watched Jakara was probably be last year for the King of Trios. You missed 2007? Not necessarily. I think wrestling right now, if we're talking wrestling, I think it's much, much better now than it was then. I have so much more to watch because it's so much easier to watch everything. You think could be surprise return in the 50 Royal Rumble match? I have no idea, because they're going to have so many dudes. I would say anybody that is currently breathing that can get a visa and get to Saudi Arabia will probably be in that match. So there you go. I have not been watching Ryzen. Thoughts on Cody versus Kenny? I thought it was pretty good. I wouldn't say great, but I think it was also like the start of the match or the start of the feud. I think it going on second to last kind of was weird. Personally, I think it would have been served better going on last, but it was also a very long show as well. People saw that as the main event. It definitely wasn't worked at I would say at the end that you would think, but it was also the first match. So, but I think it was good. I would say it was good. Should be shorter, but would it ever be best as a 2-day event? Well, no. I think Mania as a 2-day event would be stupid. Honestly, I don't even know how you would be able to do that with tickets. I think the tickets would be very strange. I miss the days when everyone made YouTube videos instead of tweeting everything. Well, I think it's not that people are making YouTube videos. I think you just have a lot more people doing like podcasts and that sort of thing, to be honestly. Made a video of this like you used to. I might. We'll see. My work schedule is now completely changed. So I was thinking if I do these again, it'll probably be on Thursday nights. Probably not so late, but we'll see. What do you think WWE needs to do to get fans more engaged about the product again? Actually push the people that the fans are engaged in. That would be the first thing. That's what the meeting week is already long enough. Yes. What do you think? What do you think the main event of All In will be? I wouldn't be shocked if they do with everyone that they're bringing in. I think they're bringing enough guys. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw, let's say, a War Games match with all of Bullet Club as part of that. And I think, yeah, that would be a pretty good main event, I would think. Walter versus was the best match of the weekend. Pretty much, I would agree with you that Walter versus PCO was one of the better matches of the weekend. Was the surprise match of the weekend. I would definitely put that up there with it. If you guys have never seen it, go back and watch like Terry Funk and ECW, particularly like Barely Legal. That match, I think it's that type of thing. Do you think that The Rock will ever wrestle again? Possibly, but we will see. Do you think Punk will be at All In? No. I'm going to say no, but it wouldn't shock me if he was. But at the same time, maybe. Do you think more indies should go back to doing more storylines instead of every promotion copying PWG's formula of supercards? I think like if you go, I think a lot of promotions do storyline based stuff. I think that, and honestly, if you look back on WrestleMania weekend, if we're just talking WrestleMania weekend, the super shows and the funner looking super shows did much better than the shows that were storyline, going within storylines. So I think that for WrestleMania weekend, but I think that that's what it is. When you think when the shakeup happens, which wrestlers would you most likely to see go to each show? What I would like to see, I think it would be cool if you got Ronda and Asuka on two separate brands and you built to that. Though I know it's been said that it'll probably be Asuka or Ronda and Charlotte at WrestleMania, but I think you do one of those matches at SummerSlam, you do the other match at WrestleMania, unless they're going to drag out the Stephanie thing to SummerSlam, which I would hope they don't do. But let's see. Should Brock Lesnar finally be drafted to SmackDown and face Jinder Mahal and their long-standing feud? No. Did you check out Kristen's cosplay Maurice during WrestleMania? I did not see that, so no. Let's see. Been watching channel since WrestleMania 4. What should WWE do with Cena next? I have no idea what they're going to do with Cena next. I don't know what they should do with Cena next because I don't think they know what they want to do with Cena next. Do you think UFC can ever book Tony versus Khabib again? Not in the next 2 years. It is a nightmare. Hello, sir. How you doing? Would you rather an awesome match between AJ and Daniel Bryan as a main event of a pay-per-view with AJ going over, or Daniel versus Brock Lesnar with Bryan going? Brock versus Bryan would be I would love to see that match. I have wanted to see that match forever. If you do not know why you need to see that match, go see Daniel Bryan versus Morishima from ROH, and you will see why you need to see that match. So there you go. Do you ever expect to see the ECW Supercards on WWE Network? I don't know. You would think so because they lead up to so many of the pay-per-views. The fact that you're missing the big show that led up to Barely Legal is not on the network really bothers me. So there is that. Do you think WrestleMania 19 is just as good as WrestleMania 17? It's close, I think you could say. Do you? What indie star in the WWE have you been most disappointed in? I guess you could say Chris Hero. I don't think that's his fault, but I would say I'm just disappointed in how they used him. I get why they do, but that would probably be it. Do you think Lana is justified in her beef with creative? Yes, I do. Dina, you know what? I think he's disappointed if you were expecting something that Dean Ambrose isn't. I've never been the biggest Dean Ambrose fan, but as I always said, I think once he got on, his mic work would be what did him, and that's pretty much what we've gotten. Who do you think will win the best of the juniors this year? I have no idea. I guess Kushida, but who? You know what? I don't know. I really don't. I think it's completely up in the air because it could be Ospreay. They might give it up Ospreay, I guess. I need to see Dean a heel in the WWE. Have you checked out any recent Impact television? And if so, what were your thoughts? I have not, though I probably should because I actually really like the Lucha Underground and Impact thing. I actually like that a lot, so I probably should. And everybody says it's gotten better, but it's still, Impact. So do you think Suplex City ruined Brock? His matches were pretty entertaining before he started that gimmick. Yes, no. I mean, I don't know. Brock has a shelf life, and the problem is we pretty much they have not put people in the ring so that you get a different Brock match. I think that's kind of the bigger thing. I know this would never happen, but do you see a world where the Usos split up with one leaving and having some success? No, I don't. But I at this point, I kind of wish they'd leave WWE and go elsewhere so we could get some really fun matches. Not that if they could get the same money. So people say Roman moves a bunch of merch, but I have yet to see anyone wear his gear. I will tell you, with my daughter, he moves a bunch of merchandise. I will tell you that. Do you think they should just kill Lucha Underground? I don't know. They need to do something different. I think that's the thing. I think they definitely need to do something different with it. Should Dean Ambrose add some muscle definition, especially since Finn Balor has those abs? Who's better, AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan? I will say AJ Styles only because Daniel Bryan just came back. But if we're talking historically, I would say Daniel Bryan needs to happen. The Revival versus Young Bucks does need to happen. That would be absolutely awesome. I absolutely think that. Hello, Phil. If you knew Lucha Underground was over this season, how would you end it? I would end it with Mel Mortis unmasking, and you find out he's not what we thought he was. Something along those lines. Are there any wrestling promotions right now that you think are overrated or overhyped? Not really. I mean, I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything out there that people are like jumping up and down and going, "Yay, let's go watch this." I don't think that would be the case. Really. I know Brian has been cleared to wrestle, and I get his wish to wrestle, but have you? No, because he's been cleared. He was cleared pretty much before they made him retire. He was cleared, so I have no problem with that at all. Heyman should manage Rousey. I think somebody does. I don't know if it necessarily needs to be Heyman. My favorite current wrestlers right now. Let's see. Walter, Jeff Cobb, Ishii. Riddle, Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe. There you go. Progress comes to mind. I haven't seen much progress, so I can't really talk about that. Survivor Series in LA will be 4 Horsemen versus. Could be. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. Do you think will win his fight within his? No. Who do you think? What do you think of Jim Cornette's version of ROH? It was okay. I think he definitely needed to. I didn't mind it as much as a lot of other people did. I get why people didn't like it, but there you go. What do you think about Nakamura turning heel? That is awesome, and we'll probably give him far more life because he is better as a heel. What are your thoughts on Kevin Owens? Kevin Owens is fantastic. Would you say John Cena versus Mystico during their draw peaks would have been the biggest match of the past decade? Yes, as long as it wasn't in WWE. Keep misbooking Becky Lynch. Because you've got two guys who would much rather push Charlotte and Bliss. That's why. Signing with Fox would be great if they. Yes, I agree. I think everybody thinks that. Thoughts on Keith Lee? I like Keith Lee. There's just a lot of guys I like better than Keith Lee that do the same things. Do you think comedy and wrestling has become too common or overdone these days? I don't think it's done enough, to be honest. Have you watched any Wrestle 1? I feel like it's so much potential to be good indie in Japan. I have not watched any Wrestle 1. I have not. Who should defeat Okada for the belt? I honestly think it needs to be somebody that they want to make into a really big star. Is who I think it should have been. I think if that's, but I don't know who yet. But I would say probably. Have you heard about Ring of Honor Club and how they don't have any shows prior to the uploaded on the service? It seems like a waste. Yes, if you don't know, apparently there are issues with the stuff prior to 2011, and that's why. Kenta versus Richard as Supercard of Honor 9 is still one of the best matches I've ever seen. Cena versus Red Spot would have been Brock versus Hogan. Is wrestling dead forever? No. I don't know how you can say wrestling dead forever when you've got like WWE's doing like crazy business and the indies are doing amazing. Who do you book to face the Invisible Man in the main event of Joey Styles versus Spring Break 3? You know who I would do? I would have it be Eddie Kingston. I think that would be kind of funny. With wrestling branching out for major shows, Saudi will probably sell out CG in Australia. Will we ever get more proper pay-per-views overseas? I think so. I think that if I think eventually, if the Saudi deal is as big as everyone says it is, there's going to be a pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. Australia is easy to do a pay-per-view in because the time kind of matches up, so it's not a weird thing. And I would not be shocked if we get a major show in the UK at some point as well. Seeing as this happened, he was in NOLA this weekend. Do you see Okada going to WWE? No. Do you think the Dragon Gate hype has died off over here in the States? Yeah, because they don't come over anymore, and also you've got, I think, and it's also cheaper to bring in the luchadors as well. So there is that. What are your thoughts on Vince Russo's resurgence on the internet? It seems like he always stays over as a heel, because you got goofs that actually believe his bullshit. So that's why. What are your thoughts on Kurt Angle name dropping TNA's hiring with no spots on Raw? I gotta laugh at it. It's pretty funny. I'm sure it was because people griped that that no one seemed to be allowed to talk about TNA, and so they talked about TNA. Should someone beat Reigns for the title? Yes, no question. Can you see WWE doing an event in North Korea? North Korea? No. Do you think Gargano has a good shot to win Wrestler of the Year? I do not. I do not. What do you think about Jim Cornette's view on modern wrestling? I think that he seems to forget the very thing that I think he was in the middle of when he was at his peak, which is the fact that wrestling is always evolving and you need to get over it. If I remember correctly, you were a gamer and played Dragon Age years ago. Do you still game? If so, what do you play these days, or has the family taken all the time? Really, the only thing I really play is I play an MMO called Secret World. That's pretty much all I play, just because I like the world of it, and it's MMO you can actually solo, and that's pretty much it. Time zones aren't as big of a deal anymore in the network era. Anyone can watch whatever they want. What the hell are you going to do with Braun Strowman? Braun Strowman, I don't know. I think give him the title and just have the good guys carry him. So there you go. Do you think Eddie Kenyon would be a good promo coach for the Performance Center? This is the case of someone you can't teach ability that may have. Yeah, I would say, except the fact that they have Quack go down there a lot. So I think, which one are you really going to use? What do you think of Undertaker wrestling again? I think he needs to retire. I would agree. We're probably getting another squash at the Saudi show. Not that anyone really cares. I'm talking about a really exciting period like the Attitude Era. WWE and other companies might be doing good, but it's hard to know. WWE puts out a pretty terrible product now. Well, yeah, but the wrestling is not going anywhere. How would you fix 205 Live, or can it be fixed? I think it's on the way to being fixed. I think you just have to I think you have to stop letting the guys in the back who are telling the guys that are wrestling how to wrestle. I think that's a big time thing. Remember when Jim Cornette was like the voice of wrestling fans? Then ROH happened and his status just went downhill. How would you book the TV title in WWE if they got rid of the US and IC title? I was a fan of the TV back in the day. Thanks for the show. You're welcome. And I would get rid of probably the US title, bring in the TV title, and just have it be just another title. If Smojo was a little bit younger, he would be my choice to be a franchise player because he has a different look than a lot of the other guys. Yeah, but when he was younger, Vince didn't like the look. So, What's an original gimmick that you feel needs to be used in wrestling promotion? An original gimmick? Who knows? Original gimmick. A gimmick that could be used. I think a legit, like, an intellectual, like, communist type character who firmly believed in what they were saying and kind of did the that type of thing. I think that would be kind of cool. Of gimmicks, does Drew Gallagher have the best gimmick in wrestling? I don't know about now. I think Drew Gallagher is just, I think you can give him whatever you want, and you can beat. Thoughts on Chris Jericho? I think he's still pretty good. I don't know about that though. Here's a cool question. Would you be upset if Tanahashi beat Okada? No, I wouldn't. So I think it would, but I don't see it happening either. WWE superstars or wrestling fans who fully appreciate WWE and understand the storylines of the 80s, or is Saturday Night's Main Event and pay-per-views enough? I would say Saturday Night's Main Event and pay-per-views are enough, only because they did a much better job of of explaining storylines and getting storylines over then. You think Dolph Ziggler should leave WWE and go somewhere else? Yes, I do, because he's absolutely boring in WWE. But hey, he stays for the money. So what are you going to do? I guess. I don't know. What do you think of Cody Rhodes' indie work? I think it started off slow and kind of picked up pace. I think he definitely is. It's interesting because it's very much character work, which is not something I think a lot of people thought would work on the indies, but it's worked. So there you go. Who do I think should beat Okada? I was asked this, Markeem, but I will tell you. You know who should beat him? I'm gonna. You will get a kick out of this. Um, what's his name from Dragon Gate? Shingo should beat him if he leaves Dragon Gate. There you go. Will we see Cody Rhodes in the WWE ring? Yes, we will. There's no question. I have no doubt of that. Who's better right now, Sasha or Asuka? Asuka. Favorite bands and music genres? I like anything with a really good guitar, no matter the drama, the genre. So, you think CM Punk is overrated? Also, do you think CM Punk will ever return to WWE? I don't think he'll ever return to WWE. I don't think he is overrated. So, what do you think of Fire Pro Wrestling World? I have it. My only gripe with that game, my only gripe, and I know that there is a workaround around it, is they needed to add a save game feature, so it would be much easier to add people to your game. That's my only bitch with the game, but the game is awesome. I will say that. Let's see. Are the rumors, Shingo? There are rumors of it. Do you watch many movies, and if so, what are some of your favorites of the past few years? Past few years. I actually, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I do watch a lot of movies. Nothing's like jumping out at me at the moment, though. That I would say, just most of them. I watch a lot of comic book movies, that sort of thing. So. See, I told you, Marquine. Ishii should beat Okada. Yeah, but I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. How well do you feel Kairi Sane will do once she gets called up? I think as long as they hold her back, I think she'll do fine. I really do. Thoughts on Legends of Tomorrow? I have not watched it because I do not watch Legends of Tomorrow, and Markeem is now going to test me out in the chat, I'm sure. I know you always liked Danzig. Were you ever into death metal, any forms of extreme metal? I like death metal. Some I liked a lot of the Nordic stuff. Also like the operatic stuff as well. So there you go. You think they will book Lashley like Lesnar, or will they just be another bland? I don't know. See, Lashley probably does need to go to, unless that might be what they held Lashley for, is they might book him like Brock. And by the way, if you've not seen Lashley, I do know this because I have seen some stuff of Lashley in TNA. He is so much better than he was before. It's not even funny. Favorite wrestling game? Any Fire Pro game. Do you think Dalton Castle is a bad representation of ROH? I don't think he's a bad representation. I just don't think he's the right guy for the champion. I think he probably should be the TV champion without question. So you got your advance tickets for Infinity War. Yes, I do, because the girl would be crazy. See, told you. Legends of Tomorrow is the best of the CW shows right now. It looks really good. I just have not had time to watch it. Have you ever checked out Hood Slam, the adult version of Chikara? I have not. I've heard it's crazy, though. Do you think Chikara will ever reach their former level of popularity and buzz? No, because I don't think enough guys will work for Chikara full time for it ever to do that. So there you go. Do you prefer Corey Graves or Morrow? If Corey Graves is behaving, I'll say Corey Graves. I will say that. But it's close. It's close. I like both guys. So there you go. Are you gonna start watching Impact again? I might. I don't know. We'll see. Have you been watching Shield? I have not. I have, but I am not caught up. Markeem. So there you go. Yes, I love Hood Slam. Markeem needs to check it out. I've heard it's craziness, but LV Vic, the thing is we already have the adult version of Chikara. It's called Lucha Underground. Pick a con. You can pick anyone from history and pair them up. I would do Joey Styles and Joey Styles over top, so you need somebody dry. And Gorilla probably. I think that would work. What's up with all ticking time bomb? Who knows? Who knows? Favorite pay-per-view of all time. Pay-per-view? How are we defining pay-per-views? If we're just dividing like pay-per-views, it would probably be WrestleMania 17. If we're talking like big shows, oh crap. I don't know. Dream Slam's pretty. Yeah, I would almost go Dream Slam. You watch Hood Slam or Kaiju? Do you ever think streaming services, or is it only live? I don't know about Hood Slam. Kaiju Big Battle for the most part you can watch. I know the like WrestleMania weekend they had shows. This is the first year I did not watch their WrestleMania weekend shows because there's so much other stuff going on. But yes, I have watched Kaiju Big Battle. Kaiju Big Battle is fun. I will say that. Do you think Arrow live up to potential after the first 2 seasons? And it's a CW show. They got CW. That's what I would say. No, I've never heard of whatever that is. Using Twitch, but I prefer watching the whole final product on the live show. It's Prime Vader versus Prime Brock. Who wins that match? Prime Vader. Top 3 dream matches that can potentially still happen. Okada, Daniel Bryan. I don't think Quack and Liger. Has Quack and Liger ever happened? Quack and Liger probably. And Joe and Ishii. That would be my. Ever visited Australia? Yes, I had when I was like 16. Worst WrestleMania of all time. There's a lot of them that are really bad. Do you think WWE will cave to criticism and rename the Warrior Award someday? Probably, but it'll only be when outside people from wrestling start calling them on it. So, who do you think will die in Infinity Wars? You know what? I don't think anyone actually dies. I honestly, Marquine knows, I think this. I think there are going to be a group that are going to be sent back in time. And I think everyone's going to think they die, but they actually get sent back in time. And I think that's what will happen. Vision will probably die. I'll say Vision, maybe Thor. There we go. I'll go with that. I don't know if that's a dream match though, but that's pretty good. Samoa Joe versus Cena. Yeah, I think so. Do you watch Game of Thrones? And if you do, who are your favorite characters? I actually read Game of Thrones. And how is it going to end? Okay, so the thing with people that have read the books is people that have read the books pretty much have always known that you were going to get what we got this, even though it hasn't been written yet, with Jon and Daenerys. So what I think, one or two things are going to happen. either John or Daenerys were going to die. I think that will happen. Or, and when I say die, I mean die and gone. Or it's simply going to be that John and her end up just winning everything, and we get the happy ending. But you have to remember that this is Martin's retelling of Lord of the Rings. People sometimes forget that. And if you've ever really know Lord of the Rings, we'll see. Segment almost happened. Speaking of shows on the CW, did you ever hear about Allison and Smallville fame being involved in a cult? No. Do you know Japanese? Do the Japanese crowd turn on champions like the American crowds? Yes, yes, they do. Depending on where they're at. Is there any other old content you'd like to see on WWE Network? I'd like to see all of pretty much. I'd like to see they complete the stuff that's already on the network. I would like to see that. As far as anything else that they have, I don't know. I'm not sure what they have access to completely. I mean, there's stuff that I'm sure they've got do they have the Houston stuff? No, they don't have the Houston stuff. Houston, probably some of the St. Louis stuff. I don't know how much of the St. Louis stuff they have, but so. Are there any old content? Thoughts on Styles versus Daniels on SmackDown? I thought it was good. I pretty much knew how it was going to end, but I thought it was good. So there you go. Vision, you can book that dude as TXL. What happens first, Owen Hart in Hall of Fame or Kenny Omega in the WWE? Kenny Omega in WWE. Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. I'm gonna say Mortal Kombat only because Mortal Kombat has a semblance of a storyline that makes somewhat sense, and Street Fighter, it's like none of it makes any sense, and it's just a fighting game. But there we go. Is there anything to look forward to in WWE in 2018? There's lots. I would say you got the Daniel Bryan stuff. You've got the women's stuff. So I think there's stuff to look forward to. What comics are you reading right now? I am rereading with my oldest daughter Mouse Guard, and that's what I have been reading. So, and then we might start reading the actual real Infinity Gauntlet stuff. So there you go. You find Community to be overrated. Also, what do you think of Mensler breaking his own scale? The thing is, it's not his scale. It was made up by Jim Cornette. So it's not even his scale. It's just a scale. I think it's fine because he's broke it before. Most people don't know that. There was a match and there was a 6-man in All Japan that he had said before was I believe was like 5, 6 stars. I think at least 6. So there you go with that. When Kenny Omega is being serious, Kenny Omega, he's fine. When he starts going into DDT Kenny Omega, then I'm not so much a fan. You think Edge should be highly regarded as he is? Honestly, he wasn't as great as I was saying. I won't say he wasn't great. I do think he's a bit overrated. I have not watched the Andre the Giant doc. I don't know if I will. My wife wants to watch it, so I probably will at some time watch it. But there we go. Is the kid who did videos with you my son? What? It's my stepdaughter. What are you talking about? Do you think Adrian Neville will stay in WWE or leave WWE and go somewhere else? I think eventually he's coming back because they froze his contract. So, The Departed or Goodfellas, which is better movie to you? I will say The Goodfellas, though I like The Departed a lot. I like that movie a lot. I love the ending of Departed. Not gonna lie, I like that a lot. Is 2000 the best year in WWE history? No, I wouldn't say 2000. Probably one of the years just after that, though. Is there current WWE UFC women's fighter that you could see doing good in pro wrestling? You mean other than I can't think of her name. The girl that was on Dancing with the Stars. Whoever. Her. Would you predict Daniel Bryan wins the WWE title? When do you predict? I don't think he's winning the. Let's see. WWE title is the SmackDown title. I will say SummerSlam. Favorite pay-per-view from the original ECW. What was it? Heatwave? No. The one that has the Dream Tag with Sabu and Rob Van Dam and Hayabusa and what's his name? Can't think of his name, but that one. Edge was great. Edge was great storyteller. Do you think that Vader will get into the Hall of Fame before he dies? I hope so. You mean the WWE Hall of Fame? I guess so. I mean, I don't really care about the WWE Hall of Fame, so there you go. Do you foresee WWE being in the terrible state that it is in now? No, but I mean, financially they're fine, so it's like, what's the worst 5-star match? The worst 5-star match. Was probably one that there's a 6-man. There's a 6-man that I can't remember which one it was because there's so many. It's an All Japan 6-man that that Baba was in that I can't remember. Yes, Paige Van Zandt. That's who it is. Do you think? What's your? Sorry, I really did think that one. Boy, what is their best year then? Heatwave '98. Yes, there we go. What is the best year? Maybe 2000. I want to say 2000. Was it 2002 or 2003? Maybe. Are you looking forward to another Tanahashi Okada match? And which match was your favorite out of their series? I don't even know if I could decide which one. I'd have to go back and probably watch them. But yes, I am looking forward to it. Your top 3 favorite moves of all time. Moonsault, Mutaplex, and what's another one I really like? And I'll say a shooting star press, just because I always pop for when somebody does it. Have you shown your stepdaughter the Jenny Marloska versus? No, she will never see that. If they actually got on Fox, do you think that they will be forced to improve their TV show? No, as long as people keep watching. No. What matches would you build towards the top of your card for WrestleMania 35? Ronda versus either Asuka or Charlotte. I would do Asuka. And you know what? I might actually do Bryan versus Roman. I think I might actually do that. If he's still there, I might actually do that. Favorite band of all time would be Led Zeppelin. As an actor, he's okay. He's funny. I'll say that. Have you ever thought about doing your own podcast? Yes, but I feel like I need somebody to do it with me because I don't think I could just keep going by myself. Does Steamboat Flair hold up? I believe so. I mean, if Dynamite Kid, Tiger Mask holds up, then Steamboat and Flair hold up. So there you go. I've been watching. What do you think of Marvel should get a Netflix series? Which one should get a Netflix series? I think doing a Blade series that was actually more on the comics, I think would be really cool. I think that would be good. Also, you know what? You know what else would be really good, Martine? If they did a legit off the comics, Howard the Duck. I think that would be CM Punk wrestle again. Yes. I said movies, not move, but good to know. Oh, movies? What's my favorite movie? My 3 let's see. Star Wars, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and what's another one I watch? Oh, and The Usual Suspects. There you go. Joe versus Braun for the title. And I guess. What's the best match you've seen live in person? Probably Shawn versus Undertaker would probably be the best one I've seen in person. Probably the first one, probably. Viola's still the same. His final videos before he deleted them showed that he still had a lot to offer. The wrestling community, maybe a podcast with him. He doesn't watch wrestling anymore. And yeah, so, but maybe. Next list is not getting any more Marvel shows. You need to book host if you're doing a podcast. What? Do you think WWE will ever give the appropriate time for Styles and Nakamura with a proper booking? Maybe. I don't know. Do you think Aleister Black gets called up to Raw or SmackDown this year? I would have thought if they were going to do it, they would have done it like for Monday. They didn't, so probably not. Current favorite anime? I haven't watched an anime and I can't remember when. If TNA signed Seth Rollins or Daniel Bryan, or did better with Okada and kept Rude, would they be stronger number 2? Yes. Because the thing is, you now see that Joe and AJ definitely were draws that they completely missed the boat on. I would say yes to Daniel Bryan. I would also say that they had signed Nigel McGuinness sooner than they did. They probably could have used him for longer. So yeah, what's my favorite Tarantino movie? What is it? Probably Django? Yeah, probably. Yeah. What's your favorite? Whoa. And Bill and what happened? One of them is in the chat. I think it's Doug. Who do you think would best benefit from switching brands to the shakeup? You would do one Raw, one SmackDown. I would say put Braun on SmackDown. Put maybe Rude. Rude might do good on Raw. Maybe. More effective heel, Peyton Royce or Billy Kay? See, I don't think they're effective if they're not together. So, yeah. Do you think Raw will dominate SmackDown in the Superstar Shakeup next week? Yes. What do you think of WWE's production? The lighting, the LD are really taking me out of it. Yeah, they need to be better. Do you think Cesaro will ever be a top single star in WWE? No, I do not. I don't think that's happening. Let's see. From Shock Root is on Raw. Is what they want. Yes, he is what they want. I would think they'd be like, oh, we have Randy. I don't think you should have Randy and Rude on the same show. That's just not. I think that's a mistake. If you could pick 6 wrestlers, let's see, what was that? If you could pick 6 wrestlers from WWE and 3 from Lucha Underground to go to New Japan, who would you take? Let's see, WWE, Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, and Roman Reigns from Lucha Underground. With the gimmicks they have in Lucha Underground, it's got to be Pentagon, Phoenix, and Mel Martes. Do you think the women will main event a WrestleMania? Yes, but it will probably only be with Ronda. Thoughts on TNA misusing Samoa Joe? He proved to be a big draw. Why they sabotaged him the way they did? They killed his men. Who knows? It was old TNA. I like the idea of you doing podcasts. That being said, what wrestling do I listen to? If any, listen to all the Observer stuff. I listen to Voices of Wrestling and a lot of their stuff. And then, just stuff that I find here and there. So, Do you like companies having mid-card belts? Depends on how they use their mid-card belts. So yeah, do you watch current All Japan Pro Wrestling? Some, not a lot. Do you see any WWE guys going to New Japan after being released this year? Depends on who they are. Worst wrestling show you've ever attended. Best wrestling show you've ever attended. Worst I've ever attended was there was a WCW house show in the 90s I went to that was pretty bad. Best wrestling show I ever attended. You know what? I'm not going to say really, it's WrestleMania 17. There's no question about that. But I did take my best friend to a ECW show, and he hates wrestling, and he absolutely like loved the show. So it's hard to say that that wasn't a great show. Do you watch any of these indie companies that are streaming on Twitch? I do not. Do you see New Japan following ROH and doing a women's division? No, because that's not what they do. Do you think Jeff Jarrett will ever wrestle again in WWE, similar to what Sting did or something? I don't see it. Do you think Rude would have worked better than Rollins as Triple H's prodigy? Yeah, but I think he would have gotten pigeonholed. Members about WrestleMania 17 live experience, it was insane because they did like an access type thing that was not the way access is done now, or if they did it like they did it then, it'd be crazy for one and they couldn't, but I would actually probably go to it. The other thing is that there was just like an electricity in the air that I can't explain. Who did Rusev piss off, or do they just don't care that he's getting over? They don't like his wife, but is probably he's probably suffering because of his wife. What do you think about the most recent takeover? I thought it was pretty awesome. Where would you rank Okada's title run among the IWGP pants of all time? Have to be up there. There's no question about that. How do you feel about Sister Abigail versus the Demon? Do you think it could have been a good match? No, not at all. I think that was a mistake. Though I do think if they were smart when this all gets done, I really think Rebby needs to be Sister Abigail. I really, really think that needs to happen. I think that would be cool. No, I think Owen Hart's probably right where most it is. What was it like going to WrestleMania 26 with all the YouTubers? It was cool. It was fun. The drive getting there was not fun, but it was fun. I shouldn't say that. We actually had a pretty good time, other than I think everybody from the East Coast had no clue how long it was going to take me and Chase to actually get to Arizona. What did you think about the clip they kept on showing from the Page movie? The clip was okay. That thing that Page did was not all right. Not at all. Do you think MVP should return to WWE? I think he's probably doing fine, just what he is doing right now. Would you say it would be a good idea to get rid of some titles in WWE and give champions the ability to wrestle and appear on both shows the way it was in the old brand split? No, I don't think that would work. Though they still don't need as many titles. But who is the next of all the New Japan mid or low card to break through to the next level? I don't know. It'd probably be one of the juniors, I would think, coming up, I would think. Thoughts on the Page videos that got leaked last year? Sucks to be her, is all I can say. And it was a good learning experience because I got to tell my stepdaughter about it and go, this is why you don't trust guys. Do you think it would be a good idea for WWE to massively trim down their roster and the amount of content they produce? Yes, but they're not going to do that because they make too much money with the content they produce. If Reigns doesn't win the biggest Royal Rumble, who do you find the most credible over to take the title from Brock? Daniel Bryan, I guess. I think they dropped the ball on that Sister Abigail thing. She should have been revealed years ago. Yes, she should have, and it should have been Daphne, but I think most people probably figure that. The Royal Rumble will be in a baseball stadium? Yay or nay? Do I like the idea it's going to be in a baseball stadium? We'll see. We'll see how they set it up. I think it's probably something them trying to try something. But, I mean, I don't know why you would do it in a baseball stadium, to be honest. Do you think we will ever see Velvet Sky in WWE? No. I'm glad Paige got the gym room. saved her life by giving her that role. Probably. What is the incentive writing this? Winning this? We don't know yet. I'm gonna guess it's probably a title shot, though. Do you ever wish the WWE didn't sign so many indie guys? I feel like it's harmful to the indie scene, and I'd be lying if I didn't say I resent the company. I think it sucks for the guys in the performance center who don't get a chance because they're signing indie guys so they can pop big shows 4 times a year. I think that sucks. So feels like they care more about hurting the other companies than helping themselves. Well, they're never going to care about helping the other companies. So it's almost 40, so never say never. But the thing is Baszler's a unique case. Who in the roster deserves a movie role? I have no idea. Title 2. Do you think WWE is pissing fans off on purpose with the whole holding Rusev back so fans will get even more behind him? No, I think they're like, we don't want him over, so we don't want him over. Do you think the tag team division from the women in WWE should happen in the future? I don't. You know what? There's not enough women. So wrestling will have another boom like in the 90s. Yeah, but it's going to take somebody with a lot of money to take on WWE. So do you think Ambrose should have been heel upon his return? Yes. When do you see Lesnar finally losing the title? At the Saudi show. Thoughts on Matt Tremont? I don't think I know Matt Tremont. Maybe I do. Do you think Gargano will have a good run on the main roster? No, I don't. Because he'll probably wind up on 205 Live. How would I fix the DC Marvel Universe? By not trying to be the Marvel Universe. The thing, I could go on a huge rant on this. So, because the whole thing is, you have to understand that if you get, in the DC universe, if you get Superman wrong, you get everything wrong in the entire DC universe. Just like in the Marvel universe, not if you get Captain America wrong, if you get Spider-Man wrong, you get the entire Marvel universe wrong once you get Spider-Man wrong. So it's that type of thing. And they didn't get Superman right out of the book, so that hurt. So there you go. Would Rosemary work in WWE? Maybe. What do you think is the best WWE Studios movie? I don't know because I haven't seen very many of them. What in the day? Who were your bigger fan of? Spider-Man. How do you feel about the Jinder Mahal experiment? High point and low point. There was not a high point. I didn't care for it at all, and it didn't work. So there you go. Hope you're wrong about Gargano. I see him as the HBK. Favorite match of all time? Probably already been asked. All time. You know, if you're gonna ask like my favorite, not the one I think is the best, my favorite is Liger versus Muta. That match is pretty fun. Will we do something about DC later, Josh? We definitely can do that, Marky. Don't you think it was stupid for W not to hire Daphne and La Parka after WCW went business? Yes, I think that was, especially La Parka. Now that you've seen the career he's had, I think that was very stupid. Very, very stupid at all. What do you think of the Nintendo Switch? Don't have one, so couldn't tell you. Do you think WWE should book Ronda like the Lesnar of the women's division? Yes and no, because you don't want to bury everybody because you don't have as many people to go through. So there you go. Have you seen the clips of Naito in the Yakuza 6 video game? I have not. Will WWE ever turn Reigns heel? No. I'm going to say no. Using wrestlers, who would you have play Captain America? Hulk, Iron Man, Black Panther. Captain America, John Cena, Hulk, Lesnar, Iron Man, Daniel Bryan, Thor. I don't know who I would have play Thor. Big Cass, Black Panther. I don't know. Xavier Woods, maybe. and Loki. Oh, Dean Ambrose. Worst match you've ever seen live? I don't remember. I'm sure it was pretty horrible though. Oh, it's probably from. Was there a really bad match on that TNA show I went to? There may have been. In the TNA conference call, Drew said that he books TNA Tech servers like a UFC card, putting a lot of their roster on TakeOver. Do you think that's a good move? Yes, I think it makes them pretty good. Have you seen Nikki Cross in the Indies as Nikki Storm? And if so, would her indie character be more beneficial for her than her current sanity gimmick? No, I don't think so. I think the sanity gimmick works pretty much. It's because you can always change it, so I think it works pretty good. Did TNA have the most talented roster ever at one point? No. I heard Ronda wants Heyman to manage her like he does Brock. Thoughts? I think that'd be fine. Was FMW enjoyable if you're not particularly a fan of deathmatch wrestling? No. No. I mean, just no. But it was better deathmatch wrestling than what you get today. But no. Do you ever watch Tough Enough seasons 1 or 2? Did. I watched the first season. Sonya Deville in trouble if she's in the same show with Ronda and Baszler? Yes. I don't think that's her fault. I think it's the way they're. How would you book Reigns' heel turn? Just to have him turn on Bryan and just let the natural stuff happen. Any match with Lacey Von Erich and TNA was the worst match. I'm with that. Your ability to answer all these questions is rather passionate. It's ridiculous. How would you pick? Who would you pick to form a modern day four horsemen from current wrestlers in any company? Modern day. Riddle. Reigns. Riddle, Reigns. Harry Smith. Who the fourth guy be? And Kevin Owens. There we go. What was the last match you've given 5 stars or over? Would probably be the Okada and 5 star. Good. Okada, Naito, maybe. The FMW question made me laugh. I couldn't imagine how rough that would be for someone. Still live in Houston area? No, I now live in Kansas City. Do you think Roman will draw like Cena at some point? How much did the loss of Roman affect him? He doesn't draw like Cena, but no one draws like Cena. He draws, but you wonder how much of that is just that he's pushed. So, your favorite TNA match? The 3-way with Joe and AJ and Daniels. There we go. How drastically do you see WWE changing once Vince passes away, if at all? Drastically. Pretty much, yeah. Best year in ROH history? What are we going by? Because technically this is probably going to be the best year in ROH history. So as far as like growth and all of that stuff. I thought FMW at least had good junior stuff like Hayabusa. Was Hayabusa stuff the only good non-deathmatch match they had? Most of Hayabusa's stuff was deathmatch stuff too. FMW was very ECW-esque. Have you ever gone to I know. I was going to go. I've been trying to go, and I wasn't able to go, and now they're not going to be around anymore. So it's like, what the hell as far as NWL and in Kansas City. So that was weird. Thoughts on Dump Masato from All Japan Women? LB, why are you? You know my answer is going to be this. She's freaking great. What is your thoughts on WWE switching Rusev for? You know what? I don't know. It seems very weird because I'm not sure why they did it. So, did you read AJ Lee's book? I have not read AJ Lee's book. Why doesn't WWE use Nigel McGuinness? He's only 42 because he doesn't want to be used. That's why. Best as in quality for ROH. What 2006 maybe? Maybe I'd have to like go back and really look. So, do you think CM Punk is going to win his next fight? Answer this before. Yeah, I'll say no. Best WWE main event run, but I don't know what I said last time. Favorite Misawa match? The last big match he had with Kobashi. What kinds of things do you expect to change when Vince has passed away? Production will probably be completely different. The women will probably be handled completely different, and the way and who gets pushed will probably be a bit different. Don't you think it's funny how people hate Roman Reigns for his wrestling skills, yet the same people love Ambrose and he's sloppy as shit in the ring? Anybody that just says that Roman is bad at wrestling is watching. People don't like Roman because they feel like he took Daniel Bryan's spot. That's why. Is Houston a major wrestling market like Philly or so? I would say so. They like sell out like crazy. I never saw the Nigel documentary. Did he reveal why he retired from wrestling? Was it because really HIV? Was not HIV. It was he's got hepatitis B, I believe. Holy shit! Didn't realize the internet went out of business today. Makes sense. I think marketing is as wrestling was not. I don't know. They drew really good here. I'm guessing they probably didn't draw well elsewhere. Triple H will probably take over the booking once Vince goes. You think Matt Bloom would have been a main eventer if he had booked him as Albert Adrian instead of when he came back? I don't know about a main eventer, but he probably would have done better. The 2000 match. Really? Well, that you're asking my. Marquine, I'm not gonna, because you're gonna make me. I can't pick like one Masada or Misawa and Kawada match. I can't. So I'm just gonna pick that one because I can't pick one of the others. Really. So Kevin Dunn fired when Vince passes. Yes, Kevin Dunn is gone. What's your opinion on the 10 Pounds of Gold series and their booking? I haven't really paid attention to it, so there you go. Unless you mean when the first guy won it, because then it was kind of interesting. So, do you have any vices? Do I have any vices? My wife says my phone is a vice, so there you go. Who would you recast as Wolverine? I have no idea. An unknown, probably. Russo probably asked for his release. I'm not sure if he was trolling, but on his Instagram, he changed his. Man, put his business email for bookings. Maybe. Is it even confirmed that Triple H hates Dunn or wants to fire him? I don't think he hates Dunn, but I don't think him and Dunn have. I think he realizes that Dunn has to go. I think is the thing. Does size matter when it comes to attracting the casual fan? To a degree, I would say. I think you have to have big dudes, but you can't have too many big dudes because then the big dudes lose their big dudeness. Will Nakamura go back to New Japan when he's done with WWE? Probably not, I wouldn't think. He might as like a legend type thing, but Roman certainly can wrestle. I'm a nice fan, by the way. Do you see Adam Cole getting a spot like Edge or Miz in the company at some point? Yes, I can see that happening. Who should be the next MCU big bad after Thanos? Magneto is who the next big bad should be. Well, Magneto / Scarlet Witch, if that makes sense to anybody. Do you listen to the Jim Cornette podcast? No, I do not. How would you rank NXT, WWE, ROH, New Japan? I would do New Japan, NXT, ROH, WWE. Maybe Impact and then WWE. I don't know. I don't watch Impact. So who should be the next Money in the Bank? You should get the next Money in the Bank. It doesn't matter. Are you embarrassed to admit that you're wrestling fans or non-wrestling fans because of the bad reputation they get for being kind of psychos? Not so much psychos. It's more of like people are like, not that they're shocked that I like it. They're just kind of like amazed and not have to explain things and explain like why I like it and sort of that. Thoughts on Pete Dunne? I see money with him. I'm shocked that they haven't done more with Pete Dunne. So there you go. What are your thoughts on the shape Big Show got into? Pretty impressive, actually. You know good. Well, will you ever restore your feud with our? No. Who would you make a good Joker or predictions on in the Joker or Riddler in the DC movie universe? I think they've got a good Joker. I think it's just not the Joker people probably thought they were going to get, but I think they've got a good Joker. Riddler can be anybody. You just need somebody who is imposing that can flip a switch and there you go. Last question. Your predictions on the Superstar Shakeup draft? No. Have you ever fallen out of watching wrestling for an extended period of time? I think, let's see, there was a time in like the early 90s, well, like probably 2003, 2004 would probably be, and then like, or no, 1993, 1994, and then probably 2004-ish. There was a time I did, but that's probably about it. Do you like him as a heel? Yes, I love him as a heel. Thoughts on Jessica Jones season 2? I've not seen Jessica Jones season 2, so I cannot comment. Should the Question get his own movie or TV show? No. Taker with both in their prime would have been awesome. Yes, it would have. Who was the wrestler on YouTube that you and Bill and Doug made videos about? Mike Jones. I don't remember. Was Shimmer ever really worth going out of your way, or was it just above average? I would say that there have been points. I would say not since really NXT got going, but before that, where Shimmer was definitely worth going to. When ECW, I was gone for almost 2 years. My God, such a terrible year for WWE. Kent Jones. Were you ever into weightlifting or any sports? I ran cross country and track in junior high and high school, and played basketball in junior high and my freshman year of high school. Are you going to do a part 2 to WWE? No, I'm never ever doing that, because that if I explain it, then it ruins what it is. You skip Raw and SmackDown and only watch the network specials? No, my wife, this is weirdness. So my wife gets upset because she knows I love wrestling if I don't like want to watch Raw. So then we will watch Raw and then she falls asleep during like hour 2. She falls asleep, and then the same thing at SmackDown. Once SmackDown's over, she's like asleep. So there you go. Do you think indie wrestler would be booked correctly in WWE? Maybe. It is already midnight. Let's see what we got here. Do you think, on a scale of 1 to 10, being worst, how much did PS Power get on your nerves back in the day? An 8. When did you get married? You don't miss having. I got married let's see, 6 years ago. Not really. Did you like the WCW movie? No, I did not like that movie. Big Rat. Don't know. What's your stepdaughter's favorite match? That she's seen? Actually, she really liked the Ronda match, so it's probably that. I have tried to get her to watch Dream Slam, and she won't watch Dream Slam, so I think she would really like some of that stuff. She actually has a teacher that they do like wrestling stuff in, and they like will do stuff in class where they like have theme music and stuff. And I keep trying to tell her that he needs to have her download Aja Kong's theme song for her theme song, and she won't buy it. What do you think of Jinder Mahal's run as WWE champion? Definitely has star power and looks. No, he does not. No, and no. What field do you work in? Theoretically, it's retail. Thanks for answering all the questions. Would Gordon Ramsay have been a good guest GM? Yes, he would have. Thoughts on the Andre? I have not seen the Andre. Thoughts on Chris Jericho's heel run from 2008 to 2010? It was pretty good. If you had to show a casual fan one match from the past WrestleMania, which would it be? It would be the Ronda match. You got to get the girl to watch. Like any non-WWE wrestling. No. Well, I take it back. No, not really. I can't get her to watch anything else because the only other thing she's ever seen is Ring of Honor, and she's like, eh. What did you think of TakeOver New Orleans? Thought it was pretty great. Yes, I keep telling her she would like Miss Toyota, but she just isn't like, no. I should do more live stream, but definitely much more. I think I will probably try to do more. Do you think Jeff Hardy will get one last good push? Yes, I think that's why they got him. They found a way to get him from Matt, so I think that's why. Thoughts on the ends of even if he didn't do what he's alleged of doing, it was a way for WWE to get rid of him. So there you go. And it's an ROH show. She won't watch it. You think they are bringing in Almas soon? I would have thought they would have brought him in, but so who knows? Proving while he was champion, they just didn't know. Yes, I would agree with that. They should let all like be like Muhammad San, but they will not let anyone ever do that because they're not that creative. What do you think of the current theme songs versus Jim Johnson's? They're okay. I mean, I can understand why they got rid of Jim Johnson, but they're okay. I haven't, I mean, I would much rather them just spend the money and use real music. But what does Ric Flair's best title run? Best title run. Probably once he won it back from Steamboat. I would maybe that one, maybe. Whatever. As the art of the characters has been lost, have you found a greater respect for the likes of Hogan and Warrior? No. Who do you think should be the heel in the current Sasha Bailey feud? Sasha. What is your favorite match outside of Okada's? What is your favorite match? What do you mean favorite match? Thoughts on Jack Swagger trying MMA? More power to him. I know in Oklahoma he had a pretty big rep for being a badass. So who do you think we will face Okada at Dominion? I don't know about Dominion. When was the last time you felt your love for wrestling was dying? Besides ECW closing, probably when Brian had to retire. That was pretty bad. It's more of TNA. Jarrett, AJ, Daniels, and Joe, I guess. How did it differ from Big Japan? Very different. Very different. Because the thing is Big Japan, it's very similar, but you'd have to see it. They did a lot like crazier matches in FMW. That's the thing, because they did like exploding death matches. They did crazy stuff. Other than myself, if Dan was still around, I would say Dan. That was I can't even think what his name was now. I don't really remember. Let's see, where are we at here? Okay, why do you think the Suns match was such a big letdown? That's alluded to the fact that this may not be the same thing. Probably that. I mean, if you followed him in NXT, he really has not put on anything close to what he did in New Japan. So there you go. So his body could just be shot and he can't go anywhere. Do you think Mickie James will win one more title? Possibly. I think it's still good. I think the biggest thing is that they are ran by a company that is very cheap, and that's a problem. And then you have the fact that you have Evolve, which guys sign with the hope that they will get WWE a quicker route to WWE. So it's okay, but I mean they just drew 6,000 people, so you know. Would have been big in Japan, huge over there. I agree with that. Thoughts on gimmick pay-per-views? Like what type of gimmick pay-per-views? Like I think they can work as long as they make. Calvin Hobbs, yes. The reason AJ versus Nakamura was a letdown was because fans wanted to be more. Yeah, well that. Are you going to Mania next year? I don't know. Can you rank the 3 most important things of being a WWE star? Charisma, having a presence, which I guess you could say that's charisma, and being able to go in the ring. I think you're at that point. You kind of have to have that. Ready for Kane to be mayor. That'd be cool. It's a gym. I don't know what happened to Mike. Should they replace the B shows that are still gimmick pay-per-views? I don't know. The thing is the gimmick pay-per-views need to be saved for when they actually need to use the gimmicks. In fact, that since you may have joined the WWE because he knew. Yes, I heard that, and I would agree with that. Is DVD still the only way to get ROH shows, or do they have a digital network? They have a digital network, and they have TV as well. So there you go. Huh? Which was the first wrestling match you ever saw? I don't even remember. It was on some local KC stations. I'm doing fine, sir. How are you? Yeah, yeah. Mike's gone absolutely crazy. Yeah. If you follow him on, yeah. Still drunk. That's good. Do not. Not a Trump fan. I'm fairly, I wouldn't say conservative. I'm probably a conservative. I don't even know how do I explain myself, but I'm not a fan of Trump. Was not a fan of Trump during. I was living in Oklahoma at the time. Was so happy Oklahoma didn't vote for him in the freaking primaries. But there we go. Where's my beer? My beer is upstairs. Giving both the ladder match and Gargano match 5 stars. I could see that. I wouldn't give both of them 5, but that doesn't surprise me either. Favorite ECW match of all time? Favorite ECW? Probably Taz. Well, okay. Probably Taz and Sabu the first time. Not anytime soon. Let's see. Favorite. Do you think the Ricochet should have won the ladder match? No, because I think he can chase, and it would be very cool. It would, but I don't think that's happening. Would Big Show versus Shaq have worked at WrestleMania? Yes, I believe it would have. Mike is on that hardcore troll. Huh? Who? Me? No, like libertarian conservative is the best way I could explain it. So, what are the chances of it? They're not going to work together. Which Mike? Big Mike? Yes, Big Mike. When was the last time you talked to me? About a year ago, probably. Or no, maybe 6 months ago. Every once in a while, I'll catch him on Facebook. What was it like at that ECW show? I never had a chance to go see them live. It was the craziest thing I have ever been to. I would imagine like a big, and the thing was, it was like a house show. It wasn't even like a regular show. It ended up being a TV taping, but it was like I've never been to anything like that ever, except like the WrestleManias that were pretty close. So, what do you think about private prisons in the U.S.? And the thing is you need is they can work as long as, but the problem is not every state needs them. It's like a case by case, state by state type of thing. It's not a biggest misuse of ECW wrestler. Mike Awesome is my vote. Biggest misuse within ECW. I can't even think of anybody that I would say was misused. If you could book any celebrity match at WrestleMania, choice of celebrity versus choice of wrestler, what would you pick? Rock versus what's his name from Fast and Furious movies? Groot. I can't think of his name. He's doing okay. That was weird. No, I could not see him doing that. Oh, you mean like someone that used him worse? Yeah, Mike Awesome was pretty bad. They could have used Taz better. They could have used Stevie Richards better. I mean, just about any of those guys. Tropes in wrestling you hate the most. The classic foreign heel is probably the one I absolutely hate the most. Vin Diesel. Yeah. I haven't in a while. I know he still does videos though. Was Sting overrated considering when he became the top guy in WWE, he did not draw big money in it? I think Sting is probably considered right about where he should be. I've never seen What Culture all the way through, so I remember watching some. Have you ever thought Stevie? I have not. Have you watched wrestling with regret? No, I've not seen that. Did you go to college? If so, what did you study? I studied journalism. You should read the book, The New Jim Crow, to understand the problem. It's not so much that. It's more of you've got bad drug laws, you've got bad laws, in particular. So, who's your favorite wrestler? Wrestler Gabe, Cody, and Logan. Yeah, I figured he was after hearing him talk about it, but he was going to give it like way too much. Your thoughts on The Last Jedi? What they did to Luke Skywalker? I figured he was dead anyways. So the way that he died, I actually kind of liked, because it's a way to actually bring him back with making sense. It will not be Alvarez. It'll probably be someone that we don't even know. So there you go. He's booked for All In. Who would you like to see him face? Suzuki would be cool, I think. Pay-per-view. Food. Everyone has a favorite food, brother. Queso. I have no idea on risotto. Uh-oh. I didn't hate Last Jedi as much as a lot of other people did. Okay, if there were no WWE giving them competition with WWE, no, I do not believe they would have gone to Austin. I think they would have stayed with Brett. Will China get in the Hall of Fame? No. Do you think that will be good? Maybe. Do you speak Spanish? That is nada. Is Punk coming to WWE ever? No. Would you rather have WWE's creative team or Russo McMahon working together again? I guess WWE's creative team. Is Punk ever coming back? He's never coming back. He's never, ever, ever, ever coming back. I don't think his wife would let him come back. That it? Food places. Jack in the Box and Whataburger are my two favorites. I don't think it would be for Hunter either. Yes. Yes, I have. Except Katie Vick. Probably when they tried to do the double turn with Kane and Undertaker. That didn't work. Do you have any tattoos? No. I don't have any beers in the house, so that's not going to happen. Who do you think will win Best of the Super Juniors and G1? I think Omega wins G1. Juniors, I have no idea. Last indie show you went to? Probably an ROH show. I would think, but I don't even consider them indies anymore, so I can't even remember. Because after I moved from Oklahoma, there wasn't really any. So there was an Texas All-Star Wrestling show I went to back in like 10 years ago, probably. What do you think the way WWE treated Emma? Not very good. Not sure if you asked this question yet, but what is your dream match? My dream match of dream matches that would be you could do today would be Suzuki versus Joe. This is true. I forget. You know what? I forget. I'm like, yeah, they're really good, but they have no heat. My celebrity crush growing up was actually Elvira. What's your worst 1999? What's worse, 1999 Taker or heel Wyatt? Heel Wyatt probably. Actually, I don't have wine either. I've got some. What do I have? No, I do have some wine. I think I've got some like vodka stuff upstairs, but no. What show did I need to watch for Mania weekend? I saw her in WWE. Spring Break, Bloodsport, both super shows. I would say that would be shows wise. I think TNA's Global Wrestling Network service will last. I love the idea of having all the content to watch, but not sure how. Who knows? Thoughts on NXT since Triple H takeover? I think that the shows are really good, but I think that as far as building like homegrown talent, I don't think it's been that good. My mom blames can't think of her name, the lead singer from I can't even think. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When Tama takes over Bullet Club, will they be the force they are now, or will they be like NWA watered down? Who knows? Double meat, double cheese, grilled onions, grilled jalapenos, with I'm missing something. I don't know what I'm. Oh, with lettuce and mustard. As long as he stays out of the ring, I do. Everyone should see Ospreay versus Matt Riddle. Do you think New Japan should have Havoc for the Super Juniors? Maybe. Lizard Man's been there probably too long, so yeah, I would agree with that. You need somebody new, but who should replace him? I have no idea. I am not. I am religious, but I'm not overtly religious. Least favorite part? Probably the Jericho stuff. Look to be moving around pretty good. Mania, do you think he can have another good match? Possibly. Letting Gabe go as Booker. Adam Pearce. Gabe needed to go. Gabe needed to go. Do you think fans will be less excited for Brian Nakamura due to AJ Nakamura lifeless performance? Maybe, but not so much. How is the TV deal on HDNet biggest mistake? That actually worked out pretty well. Do you miss the good old days of that? Not really. Who would you love to see on Tables for Three on the network? Stan Hansen, Terry Funk, and who would I add? Who would I add to that mix? And Paul Heyman. There you go. They do Angle versus Bryan at next year's Mania. I don't think so. H do better. Probably sign some better dudes. How does ROH manage to have financial success after roughly 8 years of no buzz or anything interesting? Because they're drawing people. That's why. Who was the biggest WWE let walk out without capitalizing on their potential? WWE? I don't know. Jason Jordan, Chad, or Chad Gable. I would go with Chad Gable. Do you think the screw job would have been averted? Maybe. Who knows? How many Thunder shows have you watched on the network? Zero. I don't plan on ever watching any of them. And some of those shows have Muda on them. That should tell you something. A lot of those actually do. A lot of us that used to be on are still talking about them. Why did Gabe have to go from ROH? Why did Gabe have to go? Because he was completely burnt out. Sarah Del Rey should wrestle in WWE instead of her being a trainer. Yeah, but she's probably too old. Any current NXT guys, women who are not known in the indies, you would look forward to seeing on the main roster? You never see those guys, so I don't know. I guess I should rephrase. How is WWE drawing people? Seems like outside of Omega and Bucks, there's just no interest in there, like in the place. Oh, I think it's just the TV. I think because they are the TV stations they're on. I know when I went to the last ROH show I went on, it not that it was a different crowd, but it was definitely a crowd that was not. It was a strange crowd. There was a lot of smart fans there, but then there was no like in between fans. So I'm guessing it's the TV deal. Do you think Big E has a future main event? I would have thought so, but not anymore. If Dr. Death won would he have been champion? Probably. Who is the Vince Russo of comic book writers? Of comic book writers, I'd almost say John Byrne. Almost. He tries to get a little too cutesy, but he's written really good stuff too. So I don't know, because I think people like that wouldn't last very long in comics myself. When is a wrestling company gonna hire? Who knows? Probably never. Do you think the all-in pay-per-view will sell out 8 minutes? I think they're gonna do everything they can to get rid of Russo. Who you gotta ask Miss TNA that. How do you feel about the change of showrunners on the American Gods? We'll see, because the thing with American Gods was I thought it was good, but I didn't like a lot of the changes they made to the stuff. So there you go. Grant Morrison. No, I'm not the biggest Grant Morrison fan, but Grant Morrison, even his bad stuff is at least okay. Worst comic book series that I've ever read. I don't even remember. Who knows? At SummerSlam as Mania would be a really good match. Do you think Russo deserves any credit at all? Personally, I'd take him over WWE's creative team. It just feels lazy. Yeah, I think so. As I've always said, I think that the thing is he had somebody that filtered the crap that came out of his mouth, and then he went places where no one filtered him, and that was the problem. Did you see Preacher season 2? Yes. He deserves credit. Would you ever move to Canada? I don't think so. Do you watch and like Fear the Walking Dead? I don't like zombie stuff, so no. It's funny. I have a Walking Dead miniatures game just because it's really good, but I'm not a zombie fan. So, thing that has ever gotten over. The worst thing? I don't know. It got over, so who knows? Who would you rather have in charge of WWE? Vince, Shane, Triple H, or Steph? Shane, probably. Jim, we all discussed that. Preachers. WWE crowds are definitely not as loud as they were back in the day, save for smart crowds. What can really be done to keep crowds hyped and on fire from start to finish? Not have a 3-hour Raw, probably. Games of Thrones. What's going to happen next for the TV show? TV show. Let's see. People are going to die. More people are going to die. Cersei's probably going to become like the Night Queen or something shitty like that. So there you go. Did you endure the Inhuman show? I did not. In the 90s or the New 52? You know, Marvel in the 90s gets a bad rap, but there was actually some really good stuff in the 90s. The problem was you had guys would start like long-term storylines and then would jump to Image, and they would never finish the storylines. So I can't like complain. I would say the New 52. Did you pick Danzig as your opening song for years? Did you just love him that much? Or was it just a random choice that stuck? No, if you listen to the words of the song, that's why it's in there. Do you watch Westworld? No, I do not. I know I should. I know I should, but I don't. Thoughts on WWE's cable deal with Fox Network? If it goes through, it'll be awesome. So, have you tried? No, I have not. Do you watch Stranger Things? Stranger Things is awesome. Yes, he's still alive. He has a girlfriend. He's probably getting married soon. How crazy is that shit? Are you fans of Sons of Anarchy? I liked Sons of Anarchy for a while, but then they kind of lost his stuff. Are you watching Legion? Yes, I am. I'm good. Executed death in comic books? I'm sure one of the times. Oh, you know what? When the Avengers and Fantastic Four died, that was pretty crazy. New Twin Peaks was odd. I do not watch South Park. Who knows? Did you like? I loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer. What should have ECW done before the end? Lasted another 3 months, and they would have been fine because WCW would have went under and they would have been fine. Do you watch It's Always Sunny? No. How should Disney bring the X-Men to the MCU? Easy. At the end of not the Infinity War, but the next Avengers movie, everything's fine. Peter wakes up, walks in the living room. There's this dude. He calls him Uncle Ben, and there's Magneto on the TV screen giving a speech. That's how you end. That's how you bring in the X-Men into the MCU. What's my favorite comic book creative team? Probably Ellis and I can't think of the artist names that started on the Authority books. Why is WWE afraid of using their show as a platform to promote social justice through their characters? For example, discussing racism environment, because Vince doesn't give a shit about that stuff. Would you have ECW been? Would have ECW been ROH if they didn't go under? Yes. Do you think Zack Ryder suffered the most out of anyone as far as getting over on his own? And yes, without question. What is the worst comic book animated show that is not for little kids? The worst? I have no idea. Oh, well, no. I don't. I'm trying to think. I'm sure there was one that. Probably Savage Dragon. Savage Dragon wasn't very good. If the Fox Disney deal goes through, do you see them making an X-Men versus Avengers movie? Yes, at some point. Should WWE promote more men's health issues? Maybe. Doesn't matter. He asked the question. Doesn't matter if it's not happening. He asked, do you think Zack Ryder, do you think this Justice League movie would have been better than Zack Ryder? Perhaps, though apparently we're never getting it, so who knows? Yes, see, because then you can also you start with House of M because you can also do a soft reboot. You can bring in all the new actors for the Avengers at the same time. You do all of that, and then you finish House of M. You everything's done, and then everything is rebooted yet again. So there you go. Why does Vince answers who over are there? Why does he bury them? Because he didn't invent them. I think Jinder Mahal improved during his title reign. I think he should get a second win with the WWE title. No, hey, dude. Have you seen the pictures from the live Action Teen Titans show? It looks really bad. Yeah, but you can't go off pictures. So, what do you think of Cedric winning the title? It was good, I guess. For X-Men Dark Phoenix. Depends on what they do with it. They tried it once already and it really sucked. Who was the perfect casting of a comic book character? Perfect casting of a comic book. Probably Wesley Snipes' Blade was probably it's. I don't know if you can get much better than that. My Iron Sheik ran and Fire Pro Wrestling Rage vids. I don't know. The new Fire Pro Wrestling is pretty damn good. I still think the Kree versus Skrull War should be the next big story they do in the MCU. Yeah, but you got to reboot everything, Marquine. That's the thing. You still read comics? Yes. Should The Miz win the WWE or Universal title given how entertaining he has been as a heel? Possibly. If Enzo is found not guilty or has his charge dropped, should they bring him back? Should they? And none of them like him, so probably not. Should we get a fourth? I would say no. Do you think the Bullet Club should split up altogether, or is that a bad business move because of t-shirt sales and by extension more eyes on? Maybe. Well, but see, the thing is, you can break them up for like a year and then bring them back together. So I don't have a capture card either. What are your memories on tape trading, and were there any bad experience doing this? Yes. And guess who all of the bad experiences were with? I'm sure Marquine can tell you. You think Daniel Bryan will tone down his style? No. Would Enzo sue? No, he would not. Mr. Miracle, I am not. Miz being the Universal Champion makes too much sense. Do you think Shazam will be good? It could be good. Depends. They have to get the character right. I have no faith they'll get the character right, though. Do you think the Young Bucks will ever go to WWE? Possibly. Were you ever a fan of FIP, and would you recommend watching the old shows? The stuff that I saw, I never really liked. It just never really clicked with me. I'd much rather have watched Ring of Honor from that point, or PWG from that point in time as well. Yes, as Markeem said, Feinstein sucked. He was the only one I really had a bad problem with tape trading. So there you go. He still owes me like 4 tapes, I think. It's the old YouTube wrestling days when you nah, not really. Yes. Why did some YouTubers back in the day make better than CCW? I don't know, this match just seemed just as bad. I don't know why anyone would say that. Deathmatch is a deathmatch, so there you go. A weird voicemail. Do you think Hulk Hogan should be allowed back in WWE? Probably not. Can the DCU be salvaged? If so, how would you do it? I would redo a Superman movie, make the Superman movie really good, and then you can salvage it. That's how. Yes, I did. That was like not fun. Push Fire, Barry, Xavier, Kofi, Big E. Huh? Let's see. Would play Fire Kofi, Barry Xavier, and push Big E, I guess. I mean, I like all 3, so it's like, eh. Where are we at here? Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Ugh, Orton. Blah. Well, I've been doing this for 2 hours, gentlemen, ladies, who's ever in here. I just got here. Why? Why what? Who in WWE would you have the best match with the Young Bucks? The Usos, probably. Do you think Dalton Castle isn't the king of the Indies right now? He's got a great talent in the Indies. ROH champ yet. Doesn't seem to be making big rounds around the indie scene. He's okay. He's not for everyone. Which promotion do you other than WWE, New Japan, and ROH? That's pretty much it at the moment. So, though, yeah, that's pretty much it. Be inducted. No. What if Roman was ever an ACW crowd? Go look up the night that Jim Cornette went into the ECW arena. There you go. You think of Superboy Prime? The Usos took the Briscoes. No, the Usos versus the Briscoes would be like money beyond money. Front of a crowd, I think. Because he doesn't want to travel. Nah, we're not. That's like 3 hours. And then after that, then you get to the Voices of Wrestling, like craziness. Oh, I know one. How's Moral Virus doing? And yes, I'm from those days. He's doing good. He's got a girl. He's probably getting married soon. Moving in with her soon to wherever she lives, somewhere down south from New York. WWE, no. Do you still watch Lucha Underground? Yes. Thanks for tuning in. All right, folks, ladies, gentlemen, whatever else is in the chat, I am done. So, yes, I do know Moral Virus in real life. I've known him for longer than anybody else that I have known in this little group. So, yeah, I will. I might make this a weekly thing. Everybody have a good one. I'm out. Later.